right, everyone, this is it. The decisive Game 3. Throw everything else out the window. The winner on Saturday night between Orlando City and Charlotte FC is moving on to the Eastern Conference semifinals. Let's get 10 minutes on the clock and break it all down here on 10 and 10. And number one, we'll rewind how we got here, with each team winning one game apiece. Orlando City taking game one a couple of Sundays ago. Game two, it looked like the Lions could sweep the series, and Facu Torres in the 94th minute appears to have a series-clinching goal. But hold on a second. After the goal goes in, the linesman puts up the flag for Nico Lodero on the pass leading to the goal for offside. I'll let you be the judge. It's very close. Suffice to say, it's too close to overturn on VAR. The call stands. It goes 0-0 to penalties. And so, despite not losing a game and not even conceding a goal in the series so far, Orlando City finds itself tied 1-1 due to the quirks of the new best-of-3 format. Not a great penalty shootout, to be honest, for Orlando City, as they made just 1 of 4 kicks. More on that to come, but it does lead to Game 3 on Saturday night. It's been pretty rare for Orlando City to get shut out, even though they maybe weren't shut out in this game, but officially it goes in as a clean sheet. Just the third time that Orlando has been blanked in 23 games since the international break. Against MLS opposition, Orlando has gone 11 straight home games without a shutout. The last time an MLS team blanked the Lions at Inter & Co Stadium was the Columbus Crew back on May 25th, and the Lions had a penalty overturned on VAR in that game. So it's a pretty safe bet that Orlando's going to get back on the score sheet in Game 3. As far as the other side of the field at number 3, Orlando City has yet to concede a goal, not just in this series, but in last year's first-round series. Orlando is the only team in Major League Soccer to have qualified for the playoffs in the last 2 years that has not given up at least one goal in the best-of-3 first round. There are 4 clean sheets. Also a record, Seattle has 3. They've played 5 games. Orlando is 4 for 4. You combine the last 2 statistics, if they can carry what they've done into Game 3, they're looking pretty good on Saturday night. And at number 4, Orlando City will have their talisman, Facundo Torres, who has been Charlotte kryptonite this year and throughout his career. Torres has been involved in half of Orlando City's goals all time against Charlotte, and it looked like he got another one last week, and only the linesman's flag was able to prevent Torres from scoring for a 4th time against Charlotte FC this season. Something tells me he's going to be hunting that next goal, which would be his 20th of the year, making him the first player in Orlando City history to have 20 goals in a single season. Number 5, Orlando City's been pretty good in elimination games all time under Oscar Pareja. If you include penalty results, the Lions are 10-8 in 18 straight-up do-or-die knockout games under Pareja, not including 2-legged ties. They also had do-or-die games on 2021 and 2022 decision days that they won, so you could tack a couple of more wins on there. 6 of those wins came in that incredible 2022 U.S. Open Cup run. There's also a few from MLS's back thrown in there for good measure. At number 6, we have to talk about the only time Orlando City won an elimination game in the MLS Cup playoffs. This is a record they'd like to improve, but how can I resist a chance to throw back to the Schlegel game? Pedro Gallese sent off by Alan Chapman for coming off his line. By the way, this would not have been a red card with the new laws. Penalties reset yellow cards this day and age, but it was a red card, and after we tried to send Brian Rowe onto the field, it ended up being Rodrigo Schlegel that would take on the goalkeeper mantle, makes a huge save to get Orlando the advantage, and Benji Michel would put it away as the Lions won their first ever MLS Cup playoff game. Hopefully Rodrigo doesn't have to go back in goal for Orlando City to take the series over Charlotte, but you know he can do it just in case.
Goranson to strike now. Schlegel's in the back. The shot, Schlegel saves it! Can you believe that? Unbelievable stuff here! Unbelievable stuff here, ladies and gentlemen.
Number 7, we do have to talk penalties. Orlando's record over the years has been excellent. They won their first 9 penalty shootouts in the MLS era. You started in 2015 with a U.S. Open Cup shootout against the Charleston Battery. That record lasted all the way until this year's Leagues Cup, but the Lions have suddenly lost 2 straight. They fell against Cruz Azul in a very close one, 5-4 in the Leagues Cup round of 32 this year. And then on Friday, of course, they had by far their worst performance in a shootout ever. They'll hope to rebound from that if necessary in Game 3, though certainly they'll want to just win the game in regulation.
But he's gonna.
Mwanga shoots, scores, and Mwanga, the heart of a lion, as Orlando City has done it in penalties.
And not he scores this time. Orlando City have pulled off the upset. They have knocked out LAFC. They have advanced to the MLS's back tournament semifinal.
Pereira scores! Orlando City is moving on! They win the Battle of Florida, and they will play in the quarterfinals.
Miller denied! Galese wins it for Orlando! On to the semifinal!
Thorelsen, it's off the fingertips of Lopez, but Orlando grabs the extra points.
A slow run-up from Montuna, and Cruz Azul are on to the round of 16!
The team with the more remarkable record in penalties is almost always Orlando, but not in this instance. Charlotte FC came into the league 3 years ago. They've been in 4 penalty shootouts. They've won all 4. And incredibly, their opponents have missed 10 out of 17 kicks in those penalty shootouts, converting at a rate of just 41%. The average penalty goes in about 79% of the time. So their opponents are nearly twice as bad as usual. MLS Goalkeeper of the Year frontrunner Christian Kalina has had a lot to do with that. He's been between the pipes for 3 out of the 4, including the one against Orlando last Friday. The Lions would have to beat the Croatian #1 if they want to see the next round of these playoffs.
The Jet to step up, and it's saved! Stutter step, not enough power on that one. Rajiman left Jimmy Moore rooted to the spot, and Charlotte FC.
It's not going to be now. He steps out to an angle. And he is really stutter-stepped. And you can see that coming from a mile away, that Kalina was going to be able to guess right. And to be the left foot of Rotundi, and Kalina got to that one. Castano with the game on his right boot. Right now, down the middle, save Kalina, and Charlotte FC will move on to the round of 16.
Here's Lodeno, and it's saved by Kalina! McGuire, saved by Kalina! This is headed back to Orlando! Charlotte have their first ever playoff
Number
win!
9, a couple of procedural notes just so you can keep all your friends updated. Pep Biel, the DP number 10 for Charlotte, missed out on Game 2, picked up a red card in the first game, lashing out late in the match at Robin Janssen. He is back, eligible for selection for Charlotte. That's a boost for Dean Smith. He had 2 goals and 3 assists in their last 5 regular season games. Player to watch for Orlando is Wilder Cartagena. He picked up a yellow card in each of the first 2 games of the series. In the MLS Cup playoffs, if you pick up 3 yellow cards in the first round, you are suspended for the conference semifinals. That would be a huge blow, as we've seen in the past. So Cartagena has to keep it squeaky clean in this game on Saturday. And finally, number 10, it is a triple-header Eastern Conference Saturday. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. 4 o'clock is the first game of the day. That's Cincinnati and NYC. And the winner of the game is going to face, if you could believe it, the New York Red Bulls, who have already knocked out the defending champion Columbus Crew in one of the craziest upsets in the history of Major League Soccer. So the Red Bulls will visit either NYC or Cincinnati. That's the other side of the bracket. We then go at 6 o'clock, and at 8, if Orlando City advances, we'll find out who they play. Atlanta United could even top the Red Bulls if they pull off a win in Fort Lauderdale. Inter Miami, the heavy favorites, but they did drop Game 2. They've got to win this one to keep their dream alive. The winner of that one will face the Orlando-Charlotte winner in the next round. There you go, folks. Hold on to your butts. Every game is a final from here on out. Orlando City hosting Charlotte FC in the Game 3 Eastern Conference Best-of-3 first round this Saturday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time at Inter Co Stadium on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Our English radio coverage begins at 5:30 on Real Radio 104.1, and we'll have kickoff -60 pitchside at Inter Co Stadium on OrlandoCitySC.com and the Lion Nation app at 5 o'clock. We'll talk to you then.